Hi guys, welcome again. This time we will try to answer the question from the title, which edition of Seven Wonders is better? I've had about 10 years playing the old edition, about 2000 games at this point of the new edition, so I think I can tell you what I think about this. We will mainly focus on the balance, on the gameplay and on the fun. But first, let's talk about the graphics just a little bit. This is very subjective, but the new edition is, I would say, cleaned up and maybe has a little bit of a more modern look. I especially like how the cards look in the new edition. You can see head-to-head comparison here. The cost is like easier to spot because it's on this nice belt, and the cards are easier to lay on the table. So generally, there is some information lost here. As you can see, Training Ground doesn't tell you that it lets you build circus in the next round. It just has an icon of a legionnaire in the top right. But I still like the new look. And overall, that's just better for me. Then let's talk about the biggest change in the gameplay. This is a slide that you have seen in my comparison video. Basically, they buffed blue cards. Altar, Theater, and Temple have all gone +1 point. That means that there is a lot of 3-point blues in the first round. And starting here, I will rate all the changes between 1 and 5 stars. The blue buff is a big one, and it lets you, it changes game in two ways. First, there is no more like super bad picks. Usually, when I was making the guide for 3-player, I was making it for the old edition, and in that guide there was like, you shouldn't probably build the 2-point blues because it's better to throw a card and to have money. Right now that's not true. When I redesigned it for the new edition, I have to leave it out just because it would be false information. And I think that's good because it's more fun to build cards instead of throwing them just because you have nothing better to do. And the second one that it did is that because the altar now changed to the Pantheon, previously it was 2-3-7 chain, now it's just 3-7, so it's much better. And that gives you more potential good cards in the first age, and I think that's brilliant. Overall, I would rate this change 5 stars. I think there are some missed opportunities. I would like Theater to change into something else than Gardens, just because Gardens is so weak, and it creates a large power level discrepancy between Altar and Theater. But it's fine, honestly. I'm very happy with this change, and this is a big one. This we will talk about a lot of changes here, but this is the big one. That's why I wanted to introduce you to this first. Then we talk about the cost changes. These are pretty minor. Like you can see, Spice Guilds 1 less clay, Builders Guild 1 more stone, fortifications change from stone to clay. Overall, I'm giving them 4 stars. I think these are reasonable. I don't understand fortification change still. I tried, guys, but I'm sorry. I think it's just random here. But it's fine. It would be fine if it changed. It's fine if it didn't. Overall, very, very happy with all those changes. But, you know, they are not crucial. They just make Builders Guild a little harder. It was one of the best guilds, so making it harder makes sense, and making stone more viable. Spice was a little too hard to build for most people, so now it's easier. And fortification, just as I said, doesn't matter really. Overall, a small plus. Then we have a new card, Decorators Guild, and we got rid of the old Strategist Guild. So overall, I think this is a very good change. Like, the old Strategist Guild was one of the guilds that was too oppressive. It can score you sometimes 12 points, at which point there was no coming back. And it generally buffed a very good red strategy. So For me, Decorators sounds like a better idea. It also promotes natural way of playing the Wonder, just by building all the stages, which I think is really nice. 5 stars here. Then we go into new card, Ludus. And what's important is that you will only see this card in 5-player and 6 and 7-player games. In 7 players you will see 2 copies of the Ludus. Very interesting card. In the higher player counts, you will often see people building a lot of red, just because they got into a red war. And that would mean that, of course, this is kinda playing bad, but at the same time, Ludus promotes a healthier lifestyle, I would say. It's not about, like with Ludus, you don't want to throw reds at the last round. You want to preemptively build reds, establish so much red that your allies, your opponents in those games know that they shouldn't really compete with you for red, but at the same time, for overthrowing red, you get some kind of benefit. And I really like that. Most of the people I have asked, I have played with, really enjoy Ludus. This is something nice that you can plan for your strategy. You can play early red in the first round, a lot of red in the second round. Just a very, very nice card. 5 stars. And I like that it's not in 3 or 4-player because it would be oppressive. So now we go into the Wonder balance. So this will be the big one. First is Olympia, and that's, you see the old one on the left, the new one on the right. That's a really big one. When I initially reviewed this, I thought this would be very nice. It turns out that it's a little bit more complicated than that. I will spend most of my time here, I think, at Olympia. Like the other wonders will be quicker. So we changed the resource, and we also changed the cost. So now we start with the stone, which is much harder and much more, much less needed than wood early. And we also got into more clay instead of ore. And overall, I think this is a nerf, and Olympia wasn't that great before. I have some insanely good results with Olympia at 4 players and higher, but this is extremely hard wonder to play. You like have to track every card, do well with it, and I just think this is not a nice way to play this. The second ability, like looking at the forums, looking at Board Game Geek, even looking at our Discord channel that you can find in the description, everyone is confused about the second ability. And there are more questions about Olympia second ability than any other ability in the game, like combined. So overall, I think they blew it kinda here. Like, and I'm giving it 1 star. Sorry guys, and this is like, I like the new Olympia and I like the challenge, but overall, if I see like for the player base and if I was a tester and I was giving feedback, I would say you have to do some more work here. Then we go into Olympia B, and this is a big change. Like, this is essentially they deleted a wonder and then added a new one, and it has the same name but doesn't have anything else in common. I think most players are disappointed. Like, they liked that this was a trading wonder. This provided like a new way for them to play. The new one is interesting, but the power level is also a little bit weaker. I think it's fine going from 4 players to like higher, but essentially this could still need some work. I think it's not on the level that they wanted it to be. The abilities are much clearer, which is nice. There is no confusion from the players, but the power level and like the challenge here, not that interesting. Not enough that this should not see any changes. Like, I would like to see this updated a little bit more. The old one was probably a little better. Here we go into Giza A, and 1 star for Olympia, by the way. If it wasn't, maybe 2 stars, but yeah, it was. It's not a great change here. So here we got into Giza. This is a small one. They just shifted some resources, but overall this is a very positive change, and Giza has seen an improvement in the win rates, definitely. So this is a positive change. I'm giving this a 4 star. I'm very happy with what they've done here. With changing so little, they made it better, and that's a sign of a great revamp here. Then we go into Babylon. Babylon is the other one that got changed quite a bit, but maybe not on this side. This side is a little quieter. They just shifted some resources, but overall it also led to increase in win rates in both 3-4 players. It's probably not played for more than 4 players just because the B side looks so interesting. So overall I'm giving it a 4 star. This is kind of like Giza, and when you like compare the two, you can clearly see the same pattern here. Nice change, but a small one, of course. Then we go into the Babylon, and this is where we go with the big changes. They essentially made it a 2-stage wonder. And honestly, guys, I like the previous Babylon a little bit better. This new one is kinda all in or bust. This is the highest variance wonder out of all the ones that we have. You will see a lot of 4 like last place finishes, but you will see some first place finishes. This kinda depends on how much your opponents will play against you. I'm not a fan. I think the old one was more stable, honestly. And like had a clearer path of what you want to do. Here you are a lot of the times at the mercy of your opponents, I feel. So overall I'm giving this a 2 star, and overall the whole Babylon change is net positive. Like this is less of a negative than this one is of a positive. So I would give it like 3+ stars for overall Babylon changes. Then we go into Halikarnassos Day. This is one of the wonders that has a gray resource, and they changed it so all the gray resources, gray resource wonder doesn't require doubles anymore, and that's a great change. Overall, this is pretty nice. The problem is, like this side I like, and from the games I've played and I've seen, I really like it. Also, the art is beautiful here. But the problem is that this is the wonder that you will probably never see. I've played this season and last season, since I started tracking, 700 arena games. That's like the games on the highest level that you can play. And I've never picked Halikarnassos A. I pick all the sites, all the other sites except Rhodos, but we'll get to that. But I haven't picked this one a single time, and I haven't been compelled to do so. And I really look for ways to play unorthodox strategies and stuff like that. So overall, I'd say this is a 4 star for a revamp, but this is a 2 star because it never gets played. So overall, I have to give it 2 stars. And then we get into the reason why the previous one is 2 star. It's Halikarnassos, and this one, I'm not sure what they tried. Like, I think they tried to nerf it and push it more to the green side, but what came out of it is that the Halikarnassos is better for green and worse for anything else, so you make it more of an all-in wonder. And that's quite bad, honestly. Like, this is too good. Halikarnassos was too powerful in the old edition, or is too powerful in the old edition. It's the best wonder in all player counts, considered by the top players. Here, this is the same situation. Like, we have 10 years of playing Halikarnassos as the best wonder. Now we have another, I don't know, 20 years of playing Halikarnassos Night as the best wonder. That's just not that fun. Like, they haven't listened to the top players, or they haven't consulted any top players, and that's the result, basically. You cannot balance the game that replayable by yourself, I guess. So this is the thing that happened. Is Halikarnassos too good? Yes. Can you win against it? Also yes. Unfortunately, in Seven Wonders, if you like know the power level of wonders, you can play kinda against the better wonders and let the worse one a little bit of room. You can kinda, you know, play the table, and in the end, it gets better. But still, this is a mistake. This is 1 star. Definitely, I have some suggestions also how to improve it for your own copy at the end of the video. Ephesos A. And overall, Halikarnassos changes are 1 star. Just because it's just got kinda one playstyle now, and it's just, will it work? Will they block me? I don't know. For Ephesos, again, this is a grey wonder, so there is a removal of the double press or double papyrus. And this one, I'm super happy about. This is 5 stars, spoilers. They changed how the resources work. If you take a look at the side B and side A for the old edition, they're kinda the same, except for the last stage costs, right? This one has a papyrus. This one has a rainbow cost, as I call it. And the rainbow cost is much better, and also it has 12 gold instead of 9 gold total, the same amount of points, and the gold comes quicker. But for the new edition, they changed the resources. Here it's there is 2 clay for the first one, here there is 2 stone. Here there is a bottle for the last one, here there is cloth for the last one. The middle one is the same. It's still 3 gold less on this side, but what's funny is that because of how unimportant stone is at the early game, this side has been scoring higher results for 3-player and 4-player. That's the competitive format that we have. And that's quite amazing, and that's really, really nice. Also, the clay is much easier for the laboratory H2 cog card. So generally this is a huge win. And the choice between the sides is real. And there are some situations when you would like to play A, and there are situations that would like to play B. You have to consider your opponents, you have to consider your win conditions, your strategy. This is just the perfect way to balance the wonder. And I'm very, very happy that they were able to do it. For Ephesos, this is a small nerf, I would say. You need generally more resources, and you do not want to pick that much brown with Ephesos B usually, but this is also 5 stars. This is pretty nice. Like overall, Ephesos changes has been one of the best things that they've done in this one. Then we go into Alexandria. This side again, removal of the bottle, a small buff. It's just the last stage is still a little bit too awkward. I would prefer to just have 1 grey resource on this one. I'm giving it 3 stars, maybe 4 stars. It's still better, just still not good enough, I would say. But a move for the better, for sure. Then we go into Alexandria B, and here is where like the problem with the line of products come. Basically, they had to nerf Alexandria because of the expansions. Because with every expansion, especially with Armada, Alexandria has become an unstoppable force. Just because the more resources you need, Alexandria is the better. But for the base game, Alexandria was perfectly fine in the old one. Maybe a little too good in some player counts, but generally considered strong, but not like the best. And it was a favored wonder for a lot of players. But at the same time, it was like, it never was like, I got Alexandria, I win. It was like, okay, I got Alexandria, I can play a nice game. And now it's like, I got Alexandria, what can I do? And there are some ways, like you can see my videos for Alexandria and how to maximize your ability to play as Alexandria. But this was still over nerfing. I think they could have just, removed the second stage essentially is just is just so bad. And it was okay before, now it's just bad. The first stage is still amazing, and the last stage was good before, now it's kinda bad, but okay. So here I'm going to give them 1 star. Summary. Graphics, I like for new edition. Cards, I like the card changes. And Wonder Balance, even though I might seem harsh on some of them, I generally think that the Wonder Balance is much better in the new edition, just because you have more choices of A and B. Let's go through them one by one. Here you have a choice finally for Alexandria. For Ephesos you have a great choice. For Halikarnassos you might not have a choice, but still the A side is much better and you can play it actually. For Babylon you have a real choice. For Giza you have a real choice. For Olympia you have a real choice. So the problems and the lack of choices comes mainly from Rhodos, which they haven't touched, and from Halikarnassos because they blew it on the B side. But generally the Wonder Balance is better. Is there anything that the new edition is better for? Because, you know, from the last slide you can see that I prefer the new edition. So first, Alexandria B, definitely much better, and also Olympia. So generally some of the wonders are more fun to play in the old edition. Also the compatibility with the expansion. We still haven't seen anything for the Wonder Pack for the new edition. The custom wonders, I have the Lost Wonder here on this picture. They are still designed for the old edition, so there is just more stuff that you can use. You can still use it with the new edition. It just might look a bit different. So for some players it might be confusing, but it's still perfectly usable. And also the same goes for the great projects from the Bubble expansion. I purposely placed great projects because I do not think that you should play the whole Bubble expansion, just the great projects. You can still use them with the new edition, but the graphics are coherent with the old one. So again, some stuff that they should have been doing and haven't. Rhodos on the A side could use a buff. This is a reasonably good side, just hindered by too many resources needed. My suggestion, if you have like a sticker or something, remove ore from the last stage, so it costs 3 ore instead of 4, and you are golden, good to go, both editions, because it's the same wonder. And for Halikarnassos B, add a clay to the first stage cost, or just remove the 3 points, so 2 from the first one and 1 from the second one. It's just a little too good, a little too oppressive. The numbers are just a little too good. It's the highest scoring, like highest placing wonders in all player counts. Also, something that I would like to address, Caravanserai, the card that gives you a Joker brown resource, I would say. So any of the brown resource on the yellow card. Something I think should have been done with the card, because in some player counts, especially the higher player counts, people who get Caravanserai and people who don't get Caravanserai, there is a huge difference. So I think it should have been nerfed just a little bit, or just something done with it. It could have been replaced by like worse cards that give 3 of the resources instead of 4. There is a lot of ideas. They just haven't touched it, and I think that was a mistake. I think they should have tried something with it. And finally, do you need to buy the new edition if you have the old one? Fortunately, the answer is no. I still think the old edition is perfectly playable over the board. If you want to try the new edition, you can try it on Board Game Arena and see if you like it. But you really don't need to buy the new edition. And if you like, you do not need to track the old edition, because I think that the new edition is better, and generally the stuff is an improvement, especially for the Wonder Balance. I know that I've been harsh on some of them, but that's just because I demand perfection, and it's not perfect, but it's better. I made this video because a lot of people have been asking me what's my final say, which edition is better, why, and I try to answer that. If I haven't answered any of your questions or concern, please let me know in the comments. Overall, I really like the new edition. And I like it better, and I will play the new edition. I will probably not touch the old edition unless I'm testing some stuff for it, for example, a custom water or something, or somebody requires to play the old edition. But I still think it holds up, it's great, we've played it for 10 years, it's still good. With that in mind, see you guys in the next video.